Many of us feel let down by the questionable actions of Motor Trend lately. I mean, their dyno article that drummed up huge amounts of views in fact turned out to be false numbers, something that I, along with many other people, called from the get-go. But I do still have plenty of respect for Randy Pobst. I feel his resume speaks for itself, and he has always provided solid feedback that gives his audience an accurate picture of what a car has to offer its driver. With Motor Trend's help, Randy has recently tested the Corvette C8 to its limits on the track at the Virginia International Raceway, as well as being able to test it directly against the C7 Grand Sport. Many drivers feel that the Grand Sport is the best performer on the track out of the full C7 lineup. Randy first jumps into explaining his thoughts on the C7 Grand Sport. While the C7 has been a leap forward in terms of track capabilities, Randy says he has never been a huge fan of the C7 platform. His biggest issue has been with the rear suspension. He even goes as far to say he feels uneasy when pushing the car and feels it has a monkey motion in the rear. His monkey motion comment is tied to the yaw in the C7. For anyone unsure of what yaw is, it's simply when the weight of your vehicle shifts from its center of gravity to the left or right. This is a vital component of tracking as your vehicle is constantly changing directions and the center of gravity is shifting quickly. If you have ever hydroplaned in rain while taking a tighter corner, you know how unsettling that feeling can be. Randy feels the same way about the rear suspension of the C7 Corvette when pushed to its fullest potential. Randy did comment that the importance of driving the C7 first in the comparison test, as it reminds him of exactly the feeling he gets while driving the car. This helps set up a foundation of how different the C8 feels than the C7. Chevrolet offered Randy two different Corvette C8s to use on the racetrack. The first was a completely stock setup, while the second vehicle was set up for track usage and had camber adjustments made to it. The camber of a vehicle reflects the angle at which the wheel is sitting at. Normally, you would envision a wheel being fully straight when compared to a vertical line. However, for track purposes, this angle can be tilted to be a negative or positive figure. This can help with grip and improve lap times. There are also severe cases of camber being for aesthetics, but that's a whole different philosophy that we're not going to talk about. Once in the stock Corvette C8, Randy said several things stuck out to him immediately. The very first was quick steering response. GM has stated that along with all of the increased grip you get from the new layout, you do have enhanced steering as well. The words Randy used to describe it were quick and accurate, and I would say those are the type of words we were hoping to hear from this new design. At lower speeds while not using braking, Randy mentioned that he loved the power down that the car gave him. This helps to make the car more predictable in turns. He also found at higher speeds he was getting power oversteer, yet at lower speeds he did not have this, which he said seemed to be odd. Now, many people of you are wondering where his comments about the understeer are. We have had many reviews saying understeer in the C8 is prevalent, and we of course know GM did this intentionally. However, Randy felt that he only noticed mid-quarter understeer due to the track having shorter turns. He didn't notice it near as much as he anticipated. Now, with all of that being said, it should be noted that there is a major difference in how a car can react in low speed tests such as the figure 8 test than higher speed tests like an open track. That's just something everyone should consider. Today's video is sponsored by the #1 selling cup holder phone mount on Amazon, TopGo. They provide a quality mount for your phone that is secured by utilizing your car's cup holder. With just a quick spin of the adjustment knob, you can securely fasten your phone mount in your cup holder. I use TopGo mounts in all of my vehicles, and they are a perfect Christmas gift for any car enthusiast. Links for the product are below. After finishing the lap in the stock Corvette C8, Randy hopped into the track-aligned car for some more testing. He did comment that the new alignment was very aggressive, to the point where he could clearly see the camber in the wheels as he walked up to the car. GM says the car was set up with 3 degrees of camber to give you some perspective. Once on the track, he said his first thought was the understeer was reduced significantly. He said the feeling was immediate, and this is very important to point out because many people feel that the understeer comments made from the earlier reviews were a very big issue. But we have to remember that this being a design aspect, it can be adjusted if you so choose. For most people, it will never be changed, but for track-eccentric drivers that need the very most out of their Z51 setup, it certainly may be. Randy goes on to say that he even noticed oversteer was reduced as well, giving the car its optimal amount of balance. This balance helped improve grip on both ends of the car, giving it better overall handling. Included in the testing day was Kim Reynolds, who is the director of testing for MotorTrend. He chimed in to say that while he saw the understeer in the stock setup for the Corvette C8, his first impressions were very positive when he drove the car. He said his brain lighted up thinking that it was pure, honest, and very linear car, and that the C8 is what the Corvette should always have been. Kim feels like that while it seems that they may have beat up on the C8 over its understeer, it is in fact an incredible vehicle that has very few flaws. So they're focusing on the understeer makes it seem like an aspect that is much worse than it actually is. This to me makes a ton of sense, and I feel like most people purchasing the C8 for everyday driving will never even reach the limits of this car, to which understeer begins to affect the driving. Randy finishes up by saying that the Corvette C8 is truly a huge leap forward for the Corvette lineup. He adds to what Kim mentioned about the understeer and says as a professional race car driver, his first instinct is to find what is wrong with the car. He focuses purely on that and uses it to help improve a car while being on the track. Even if that change is extremely small, it can help improve times by fractions of a second. Don't forget that in track times, every partial of a second does matter. So Randy admits they are hitting on what he calls a minor tuning point of an otherwise incredible car. To give you all an idea of how much better the C8 is in times-wise, MotorTrend points out that the car is 2 to 3 seconds faster with the aggressive track setup. While that may not sound like a lot to some people, that is a huge improvement over the previous generation. And the best part is, this is only the beginning. We are talking about the very first rendition of the mid-engine Corvette. GM will continue to improve upon this car, and the upcoming higher performance models should truly shine. I think this solidifies that going mid-engine has been without a doubt the best choice so far for GM and the Corvette brand. While it is the end of an era for the old layout of Corvette, it is the beginning of a bright future for the new layout. But let me know what your all's thoughts are on the brand new Corvette C8. How many of you will be tracking your Corvette C8s and are excited to see this new information we have on the track layout? Let me know in the comments below. I do want to add a bit more about the camber adjustments made to the C8 Randy tested. GM says that the setup was 3 degrees negative. I know many people are going to listen to this video and wonder why GM doesn't just set it up stock from the factory if it does indeed lead to better handling. As I mentioned earlier, camber tilts the wheel in either direction. Randy's C8 had negative 3 degrees of camber. I'll throw up an image showing you the different points of camber, and as you can see, negative camber pushes the part of the wheel touching the pavement away from the car, which, as you can imagine, could help with stabilization. But 3 degrees is pretty severe, and this will wear out the inside of the tire much quicker than the outside. For tracking, tires go bad much faster than a tire used for average driving. This gives you an idea as to why it would happen in this case. So this setup wouldn't really be ideal for everyday drivers, and really the benefit would be non-existent for public roads. As I mentioned, this is really pointed at the die-hard racers that track their cars, and even then it's really aimed at the select few that can make a difference out of the camber that is added. The main point I'm trying to get out of all of this is while the understeer can be remedied, Randy and Kim both acknowledge that the car is incredible, with or without the understeer. As always, thank you all so much for checking out my video. If you enjoyed the video, think about helping to support my channel and hitting that like button. It helps more than I can truly express. If you're new to the channel, think about joining our growing community and hit that subscribe button. I try to offer the best informational videos over the C8, and I'll have in-depth high quality videos coming over my C8 when it arrives this spring. As always, you all take care, and I'll see you next video.